Hey guys, welcome to the Command Lounge. This is my Aurelia the Warleader Commander deck, and the name of it is just something simple. I just called it Angel Control because it is a control deck, and there is like a subtle little angel tribe to it that's in there, and there is also a little bit of Voltron in it, but that has nothing to do with the name. But there's a little bit of Voltron just to get Aurelia, just to protect Aurelia, and make her be like a 2 turn clock, or even fewer than that. But yeah, she is. I had to put her in. I had to make her commander because in limited, especially the pre-releases, in both, I think it was Gate Crash and Dragon Maze, she won me booster packs, and she also won me booster packs in draft also. So she's single-handedly, this card, it probably won me more booster packs than I can't pick out another card that's won me more booster packs by themselves, more free booster packs in tournaments. Like, she just did so much work. And so I think she, ultimately I was like, well, she needs a spotlight somewhere. She could. There's nothing else I could really put her in that's in competitive play or anything like that. I could build a casual deck around her, but I just, she deserved a spot in my commander roster because she just did so much work for me in the past, and she deserves a deck. So here she is. I originally built her. I did build her before this build, and I made it a tokens theme, and this was way before Prosh ever came into my life. So yeah, she wasn't very good. I mean, white's a great color to make tokens, so is red, but I mean, it's just, most of the times I'd get up there. It would be mainly just an aggro deck, and it'd just get wiped, and then you would just dirtle and not do anything. You wouldn't. It would just, your plan would fail once you get wiped once, and it kind of reminded me of my Krenko deck. So in this one, I built a control route. So yeah, let's get into Aurelia the Warleader's stats. She is 6 mana, which you pay 2 colorless, 2 red, and 2 white for a 3/4 flying vigilance haste. And whenever Aurelia the Warleader attacks for the first time each turn, untap all creatures you control. After this phase, there is an additional combat phase. Now that's really good with her commander damage. When I first built her, I built her thinking I could just get in with a whole bunch of creatures over and over again. But with this build, I basically try to control the board and then get her out, and then finish people off with commander damage, like maybe give her double strike somehow, and keep picking people off over and over again, and then wiping the board, picking somebody else off, wiping the board, picking somebody else off. Like, that's my strategy with it. There are alternate ways to win in this deck. And yeah, let's just get into everything. Yep, Aurelia the Warleader. She won me so many booster packs. Love her. So yeah, we're getting into lands. Maze of Ith. This is a control deck. I would like to keep huge creatures from hurting me. Now we have Reliquary Tower. Gotta have these every commander deck. I mean, that's another thing, is in red, red-white is probably the worst color combination to build a commander deck with, because it lacks draw power, and it lacks ramp, which luckily we have, all kinds of mana rocks, and we have all kinds of artifacts that helps you draw, so we'll get into those in a second. So sorry I got off track. We got Tectonic Edge, get rid of lands that are being problem lands. Ghost Quarter does the same thing. It could also help fix you better, because Aurelia is kind of mana intensive. We got Temple of the False God. I'd rather run Ancient Tomb in here, but I've already used up all my Ancient Tombs, so I got Temple of the False God instead. Then we go into our dual kind of lands, and we got Command Tower. We got Naya Panoramas. Gotta have your panoramas in a budget build. And this is a budget build. This is basically a build from my collection. The only things I went out and bought to put in here was Surveyor's Scope and Boros Signet, and that's just because it really needed the ramp. So it is missing a lot of the perfect elements to make this deck, run even smoother, but oh well. And now we have our fetch lands. We got Evolving Wilds, Terramorphic Expanse, and yeah, the Naya Panorama was another one. And then Opal Palace. I love this card. I mean, this card was good enough to be in my Prosh deck. A lot of people hate on this, and I forgot. There's another card that does pretty much this. It's something Grotto, Shimmering Grotto. And a lot of people were just like, this is just a Shimmering Grotto, and it's just, no. It can potentially, keep putting 1/1 counters on your commander. I think in any Voltron-ish, any commander deck that you're building where your main focus is to get commander damage in to win, should run an Opal Palace. I mean, I think it's the perfect Voltron kind of card if you're running any Voltron strategies. And we got a Sacred Foundry, Boros Garrison, Vivid Crag, Vivid Meadow, Windscarred Crag, Boros Guildgate, Grand Coliseum, which is Pingland, and Ancient Amphitheater. I think that's how you pronounce it. Alright, and then we have the Secluded Steppe, which is just Cycle Land, and New Benelia, which just Scry 1. And it's fine having this land in here because I was thinking, oh my god, I got a whole bunch of enter the battlefield tap effects. But I mean, in a control deck, you can definitely get away with that, I think. And then I believe we run 8 planes. Yep. And then we got Forgotten Cave, which is just another cycling land. And we got Gatu Encampment, which is, the man land. I wish there was a better man land I could run in here, especially with all the Wraths that I have in this deck, but this will just have to do until something cool gets printed. And then I believe we also have 8 mountains. Alright, so now as always into our ramp package first. We have Soul Ring, the best ramp in Commander. We got Solemn Simulacrum, which just ramps you and replaces itself when it dies. Just draws a card. Boros Signet, absolutely amazing. Like, I didn't put these in my Artifact Staples video, but they were supposed to be in there. Like, I even had them in mind to be in there, but I didn't want to dig in my collection for them. They're just amazing. Like, it's mainly because it's only 2 mana. There's not, like, most mana rocks cost 3 and up. And, having 2 mana for, to basically fix your mana is amazing. Alright, then we have Dark Steel Ignite, which is indestructible. Tap for any color. Amazing. Basalt Monolith. It's alright. I probably would have put a Mana Vault in here if I had another one. But I used them all up too, so we're using Basalt Monolith today. It's pretty good. In the control deck it's fine too, because it'll give me time like that, that mana sink to untap whenever I want. Chromatic Lantern, I know usually these are for 3 to 5 color decks, but because Aurelia is just so mana intensive, because you gotta have 2 red and 2 white to bring her out, I thought it wouldn't hurt having Chromatic Lantern, turning all my lands into whatever color I want. Burnished Heart, we have Explosive Vegetation on a stick, gotta have it. Military Sphere to fix our mana. Surveyor Scope, I'm gonna tell you guys this again, this is flying under the radar. You need to put these in your decks. Like, this card is ridiculous. It's better than Explosive Vegetation, and it costs half the price. Put it in your deck. That card should be green. Alright, and then we have Commander Sphere. I had Cluestone in here, but Commander Sphere is a lot better, because you don't have to pay anything to sacrifice and draw a card. And if you're running more than 2 colors, it literally adds any color. So it's really good. And then we're going to go to our card fixing, card drawing spells. Once again, not a lot in here. Got to get some help from artifacts. We got Crystal Ball, which is your budget Sensei's Divining Top. Amazing card. We got Rogue's Glove. You guys might not know what this is. This is 2 mana, and equip costs 2. And whenever equipped creatures deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. So it's basically a scroll. It turns one of your creatures into a Scroll Thief. And what's good about turning Aurelia into a Scroll Thief is that Aurelia gets an additional combat phase. And also, if you equip her with, something like Double Strike, equip her with enchantment or any of that, she gets Double Strike, so that means I will draw a card, and then another, because I get another combat phase, I can draw a card. So I draw 4 cards in, the one turn that I attack twice with. So it's really good. I think I haven't used it yet, but I think it should do really good. And we have Seer Sundial. 4 mana, landfall, pay 2, draw a card. It's alright. It's drawing, it helps. And we got Staffing In, which is an amazing card. And then for the last draw card, I didn't know what to put in here. And I really loved this card when I first saw it. I thought it was interesting, so we're gonna try it out. It is 3 mana. It's sorcery speed. You exile the top 3 cards of your library. Until the end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way. I think I don't usually like drawing cards as like sorcery or instant speed. I usually like them to be permanents. I usually like them to be artifacts, enchantments, or creatures or something like that. I don't like it in Commander. I think Commander you have to have something more permanent to get the full the best effect out of it because the games are longer. But in this control deck, late game, this could be potentially really good. So I don't know. I'll try it out, see what happens. I might end up eventually switch this out for something different. And then we're gonna go to our spot removal. We have Revoke Existence. Got to exile target artifact or enchantment. It's a great card. And then we have Oblivion Ring. Just an amazing card. Banishing Light. It's just Oblivion. It's pretty much Oblivion Ring. And then we go into our Wrath spells, which is the main reason why I rebuilt this deck. I just wanted to jam a whole bunch of Wrath spells into it. Like I told you, this was just a collection build, so it's missing some of the key Wraths, like Terminus and what is it, Hallowed Burial, I think it's called. So yeah, Winds of Wrath. This card is amazing in this deck, especially because with Aurelia, I can enchant her with Double Strike or enchant her with Indestructible or something like that. So it says for 5 mana, you destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated. It's a great card in this deck. Another good one is Divine Reckoning. This will keep Aurelia alive. It's 4 mana. Each player chooses a creature he or she controls. So everybody gets to do it and destroy the rest. And it also has a flashback cost. So if you're facing any token decks, anything trying to be aggressive, this helps. Then we have Rout, which if you guys don't know what that does, it's 5 mana. You may cast Rout anytime. You could cast an instant if you pay 2 more to cast it. That's really cool to have an instant speed Wrath. They definitely don't really exist, I don't think. So yeah, unless you're like, activating from an artifact ability to do like, use up one of the oh shit buttons like Oblivion Ring, Oblivion Stone, and what's the other one called? Perilous Vault, I think it's called. But yeah, this is destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Then we have Day of Judgment, 4 mana, destroy all creatures. I just love how simple this card, like the art looks amazing, and there's no flavor text. Just destroy all creatures. It's over. Like I just love how simple the card is. Phyrexian Rebirth. I really don't see a lot of people playing this, and I do not understand why, because it's so much value for 6 mana. Because you destroy all creatures, then put an XX colorless horror artifact creature token onto the battlefield, where X is the number of creatures destroyed this way. Like, why are you guys running Wrath of God and not like why? I don't understand why people aren't running this in like any deck that's running a lot of Wraths. Like, yes, it's a little bit more expensive than Wrath of God and Damnation. I mean, not Damnation, Wrath of God and Day of Judgment. But it's crazy how big that horror artifact creature token can get. Like, I think I've seen it get up to like, I think it's like a 50-50 or something like that. Like, it's, you can win you games by itself. That card can, depending on how the field's going. And then we got our Wrath of God, gotta have it. 4 mana, destroy all creatures that can't be regenerated. Just your perfect Wrath spell, I guess. And then we have End Hostilities, one of the new Wrath cards. Destroy all creatures and all permanents attached to creatures. So that's really good. And then we have Katar's Wrath, which I just know it destroys all creatures that can't be regenerated. That's why I threw it in here. So let's read the rest of it. Alright, so it's 6 mana, and then it has, all that. Threshold, if 7 or more cards are in your graveyard, instead destroy all creatures, then put 2/1/1 white creature tokens with flying on. Yeah, that doesn't matter. It's just about destroying all creatures, so Katar's Wrath's in there. Alright, and then we go to our oh shit buttons. The Mineral Disc is in here because I don't have Oblivion Stone. So, it's 4 mana, It enters the battlefield, tap, boo. But you only have to pay 1 to destroy all artifact, creatures, and enchantments. Just remember, this does not destroy planeswalkers, so that kind of sucks. And then we have Perilous Vault. Thank God I actually have one good oh shit button. But that's 9 mana, exile Perilous Vault, exile all non-land permanents. Very good card. And then we have this Planar Cleansing, which is your white oh shit button. It's nice that white has that, because, you know, some color has too. And it's just, you know, it's only 6 mana to destroy all non-land permanents. It's very nicely costed. And then we go into our Graveyard Hate. Once again, with the Angel theme, we're going to run Angel of Finality. And she is 4 mana for a flying 3/4. And when Angel Finality enters the battlefield, exile all cards from target player's graveyard. Just remember, this target's only one person, so use it wisely. And then we have Rest in Peace for everything. 2 mana. When Rest in Peace enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all graveyards. If a card or token would be put into the graveyard from anywhere, exile it instead. Great card. And then we go into our recursion spells, which we have Karmic Guide, which is 5 mana for flying protection from black 2/2 with Echo, which kind of sucks, but it's whatever. When Karmic Guide enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Which, you know, keep getting angels back over and over again. I was really happy they reprinted this card, because I think she was going up in price a little bit. And then we have good old Sun Titan in white. It's pretty much a staple card. It's an automatic include. It gets back your mana rocks. It gets back lands, fetch lands. It's so good. It gets back enchantments. I think a lot of times it's bringing back enchantments or mana rocks. Then we have a Darkar Valkyrie, which she is in here because she can return one of your creatures that are about to die back. It could be recursion, but it's, you know, with wrathing, you know, right before you wrath, you can tap her and make the creature on another opponent's side come back to the battlefield under your control. If you guys don't know her stats, it's 6 mana for a 4/5 flying vigilance. And then that tap one, you know, it taps to take a creature that dies that turn. And then we have a new card I'm going to be trying out, and that's Profound Journey. So this is a reboundable. I forgot what it's called. It's just you just rebound, return target permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It's crazy that it has rebound. I think that's amazing. Like it is 7 mana to do that, but I think this card is going to do so much. I think it's going to do interesting stuff. So, we'll see. And then we're going to go into ways of protecting Aurelia, because when Aurelia's out, you don't want her getting killed. She costs 6 mana in a Boros deck. You do not want her to die. You gotta protect her. I'm just going to stress that. Mask of Avacyn, a lot of you guys might not know this, because there are better ways to put protection on your general, especially first thing comes to mind to everybody is put some boots on that bitch. It is 2 mana and it has 3 equip costs, and its equip creature gets 1/2 and has hexproof, which is good. You got Whisper Silk Cloak. I love this card when it comes to protecting your general, and just make sure you Voltron up first, because it will give her Shroud. And but the good thing is it also gives them blockability, so that's awesome. And we have Dark Steel Plate. This is probably like one of the MVP protection spells for Aurelia, because after you put this on her, you can wrath as much as you want and not have to worry about losing your general, because it gives indestructibility. And we have Lightning Greaves, automatic staple for Voltron decks. But once again, be careful, because it's Shroud, it's not hexproof. And then we have Indestructibility, which is also awesome with Wrath spells, which you can just go crazy with Wrath. But once again, if you use the oh shit button, one of the oh shit buttons that you have to use, this goes away, so it's not indestructible anymore. Then we have the other boots. We have Swiftfoot Boots, which is, gives hexproof and haste, so it's real good. And it's cheaper than Avacyn's mask. And then we have Gifts of Immortality. If you guys don't know what this does, I mean, this is basically, once again, I can use Wraths kind of freely when this happens. It's 3 mana, enchant creature. When enchant creature dies, return that card to the battlefield under its owner control. Return Gift of Immortality to the battlefield, attached to that creature at the beginning of the next end step. So you kind of got to be careful when using this, because especially when you're using it yourself to Wrath and stuff like that, it will it could backfire because someone could use that removal before gifts come back and you can actually just kill it out. So I would be careful with Wrathing with this. I just wait for indestructibility. We got Aegis Angel, which she pairs well with Aurelia, making her indestructible. And we have Avacyn, pretty much one of the best ways to give indestructibility. It gives it to all permanents. I forgot that in the match I played recently, that she gives all it's not all creatures, it's all permanents indestructibility, which that's amazing. Alright, and now this is the way we make Aurelia, either a 2-turn clock or better. So, Silverblade Paladin, 3 mana, 2/2. Basically, Soul Bond. If you guys don't know what Soul Bond is, it's whenever a creature comes into play, you may pair that creature with the other one, and they both get the ability that they have. And Silverblade Paladin's ability is Double Strike, which Aurelia with Double Strike is perfect. And we have Battle Mastery. It is an aura that gives her Double Strike. These all making her a 2-turn clock. Gisela, Blade of Gold Knight's really good because she's really expensive though. She's 7 mana for a 5/5 flying first strike. But it's cool because not only does she essentially give her Double Strike, but she also prevents half of any damage you take or any of your creatures take. So that's amazing. And we have Ghostblade Eidolon, which is 3 mana for a 1/1. Nobody cares about that. It's the Bestow. Use 6 mana to bestow Double Strike and give 1/1 to Aurelia, which will make her, get in for crazy damage. And then even though it's not Double Strike, it's Luxodon Warhammer, and it's an amazing card for Voltroning. 3 mana, 3 equip. The creature gets +3 and has lifelink and trample. It basically says it gets Double Strike, lifelink, and trample. It's a really good card. And then we have ways of instantly winning cards. Enrage can just sneak in there and win a game out of the blue. It's red X. Target creature gets +X/+O until end of turn. This is one of the sneakiest ways to win in the deck, and this is the all-star in this deck. This card also won me a lot of booster packs, and it's weird because it won alongside Aurelia every time I played her. This card in Aurelia, holy Jesus! And because its Blood Rush ability instantly gives her 3/3 and Double Strike, that's a one-hit wonder right there. Aurelia becomes a one-hit wonder for anybody at the table and just takes them out of it. Very good card. And then we have ways of protecting and life gain. And Seraph of the Sword is a 4 mana 3/3 flying, and it prevents all combat damage that would be dealt to Seraph of the Sword. So, it can block, Kozilek and all that, and not take a whole bunch of damage off of that big fatty, so it's in here. Angelic Skirmisher is mainly in here for the lifelink. It's 6 mana for a 4/4 flying. At the beginning of each combat, choose First Strike, Vigilance, or lifelink. Creatures you control have these abilities. So most times it's going to be lifelink. Every once in a while it's going to be First Strike, because sometimes Aurelia needs to kill something before getting it again for commander damage. And then we have our staple Wormcoil Engine, just an amazing card. Every single commander deck it needs to be in. And then this card I thought would be pretty sweet in here, especially because it's a control deck. What's better than a control deck than getting back all of your life? I mean, in some ways, sometimes I can see this card being maybe too good, maybe to the point where, I don't know if it's bannable good, but it's absolutely broken in Commander, and a lot of people are going to look at this card and go, huh. And a lot of people are going to be like, okay, well, I'm just going to copy it a whole bunch of times, or, do something like that. And it's a card that you automatically, if you're down dumps and, you have, a bribery or something, you're going to get, you're down to, 5 life, you're going to grab Resolute Archangel every time. This thing could, I don't know. I don't know if it's Banhammer, but, it's 7 mana flying. When it enters the battlefield, your life total becomes your starting life total. It's ridiculous. And then we have Herald of War. If you guys don't know what it is, 5 mana flying 3/3. Whenever Herald of War attacks, put a 1/1 counter on it. And angel spells and human spells costs 1 less to cast for each +1/+1 counter on Herald of War. That's really good because there's a lot of angels. It makes Aurelia cheaper. It makes all of them cheaper. It makes Avacyn cheaper. Like that's awesome if you can make Avacyn really cheap. And then we have Bissandra in here. This is going into my utility, and you know, at first I just thought I just threw an angel in just for shits and giggles, but because this is a Voltron deck, it's actually good to keep people from playing spells during combat. Like if you have like that blood rush trick or that enrage trick, like there's 2 ways you could just outright win. It's good to have this out. And it, in some ways you can make the red ability where you target creature attacks this turn if able, if you need to kill something serious like Fauna Shaman or something like that. But hopefully you get it out before it can tap to do what it needs to do. So yeah, that's why I put this in here. And then these next 2 cards are just ones I just threw in here because I really like the cards. I want to see how it would do in Commander, and that's Mindclaw Shaman. This actually could be very, very good deck. I mean, it's really good if you have ways to look at other people's hands, but I know there's not a lot of stuff that does that. So it's 5 mana for a 2/2, and when he enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You may cast an instant or sorcery card from that player's hand without paying its mana cost. That is not a red move right there. A red creature shouldn't be able to do this, and that's why I think it's hilarious that this creature exists, and that's why it's in here. And then we have one of my favorite red cards, and that's Zealous Conscript. No, she's not my favorite because I know many ways to make infinite of her. She is my favorite because she's basically like a toolbox card almost. Like 5 mana, 3/3 haste, and when it comes in, gain control of target permanent until end of turn. Untap that permanent, it gains haste until end of turn. I mean, you take Planeswalkers with this one to neg it, to take it out of the game. You take Planeswalkers and to to ultimate it on your side. You take creatures to attack with. You take creatures to get rid of somehow. Like there's so much you can do with Zealous Conscript. It's nuts. I just love this card. And this is when I started playing Magic again, and I just saw this card. I was like, this card is nuts. And then we got our alternate win cons. I don't have that one spell that takes absolutely every creature from the battlefield. I think it's called Insurrection. But this one might do, especially how big creatures can get in this format. But it's 5 mana. For each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They gain haste until end of turn. I don't have Insurrection, or it would be in here. But Mass Mutiny, it's fine. And then we have the last card. And this was a card that I've just been wanting to put in a deck so bad, too. This is another one that's just really good. I've loved this card. I mean, obviously, I love tokens. Like, you saw my Prosh deck. I love tokens. And Assemble the Legion is 5 mana. You use red and white in the cost. And at the beginning of your upkeep, put a muster counter on Assemble the Legion. Then put a 1/1 red and white soldier creature token with haste onto the battlefield for each muster counter on Assemble Legion. This card is awesome with what this deck does. Like, it wraths, and then you can put more creatures out. You don't have to worry about your wrath spells killing all your little dinky 1/1s because you're just going to get 1 more of them next turn. It's just such a cool card. So yeah, that is my Aurelia the Warleader deck. I will have a link in the description below to the deck list of this deck if you guys need to see more or see how much the deck costs. But yeah, I played it once and it seemed all right. I'm just happy I got her in a build. And I love the wrath spells and stuff. I love the colors in general. It's just so tough to play these colors in Commander though. But yeah, just let me know what you guys think of this deck and this video. Like, favorite, and subscribe. And you guys take it easy. Bye.